Hello, lovely souls. How is everyone doing? In our last video, we wrapped up the relationship building process and I went into the intro of energy traveling down the bloodline and how we were held responsible. So, in this video, we're going to explore more into this topic. And I'm going to call this a commercial break because it's a little bit off topic than what I'm going to be doing continuing forward. But here we go. On July 28, 1932, the U.S. government attacked World War I veterans with tanks, bayonets, and tear gas under the leadership and textbook hero of Douglas MacArthur, George Patton, and Dwight D. Eisenhower. The World War I vets were part of the bonus army who came to Washington, D.C. to make their demand for their promised wartime bonuses. I'm going to play you guys a short little clip here. And this is by the Daily Dose documentary. His video link, if you want to go see it, is in the description.
Today on the Daily... You fellas, look, makes me so damn mad a whole lot of people speak of you as tramps. By God, they didn't speak of you as tramps in 1917 and 18. Oh. While many Americans unfairly blamed President Herbert Hoover for worsening the Great Depression through inadequate economic policy, on July 28th, he further tanked his reputation by ordering the bonus marchers forcefully removed from government land. Army Chief of Staff General Douglas MacArthur and his subordinate understudies George S. Patton and Dwight D. Eisenhower led a contingent of 500 infantrymen, 500 cavalrymen, 6 M1917 light tanks, and 800 policemen into the bonus marchers' Hooverville, unleashing tear gas and firearms when the protesters refused to leave their encampment. Just as the veterans had endured mustard gas attacks in the trenches of Europe, this time the gassing would be delivered by their own countrymen. Two veterans, 88% of the electoral vote. And there you have it, the bonus expeditionary forces of 1932, today on the Daily Dose.
Energy travels down the bloodline. We're all held accountable energetically. We have a whole generation of men that are 50 plus years old who have been and always have been extremely miserable and angry. I believe this type of anger could only come from betrayals such as this. And this is the exact reason why creating a change in your home for some people who end up in abusive relationships, why it stops you dead in your tracks. This is a curse. And whether the government knew it or not, this is what they did to all of mankind. And don't even get me started on the men who expedited this. And how about those who aided in the actions? Because that travels down the bloodline too. Can I talk about what's a superiority complex? All right. There's duality to both these situations. My question is, why do we have a World War II if this happened in World War I? So positive environments and experiences. This is talking about the abandonment to self, and so this is on a global scale. The abandonment of self. And this is on a individual scale of how we evolve and how this process takes place. So positive environments and experiences, poverty, maternal depression, abuse, and neglect. So you have your influence on development, our parents, peers, and environments. You have experiences and temperament. Then you have your moral compass, sense of self, and emotional regulation. So here, your experiences and your temperament and your moral compass, this forms your attachment style and your personal versus family values. And to be socially accepted, we want to feel understood as children. And this is why a lot of the times children feel like prisoners in their own home. But they just don't say anything because you can have a good home, but strong family values that may not feel right in your soul, but you're going to abandon yourself because that's your caregiver. And you need it as a child, you can't take care of yourself. So the older we get, the more safety we have around finding our authentic selves. So how is it possible to understand another if you don't understand yourself? This is more content on the abandonment itself on a global scale. Vince Gauman, he does an excellent job at explaining the abandonment itself and how it evolves on a global scale and also on an individual scale. It's a quite long video, but this video is in the linked in the description as well. This man over here, Edward Snowden, he talks about the surveillance through our phones, and they say whistleblower, but I mean, he's just speaking out on what is morally feels wrong in his heart, and he doesn't want to be a part of a society that is standing for what is currently happening. This video will be linked in the description as well. So emotionally stuck. When I mention the emotional perpetual loop, the behaviors of people who are in this loop: anger, paranoia, swearing excessively, aggressive or dominant demeanor. Coping mechanisms could be shopping, false realities, alcohol, drugs, or sexual crutches, needing to belong or identify with a label. So microprocesses, character development, beliefs that save ego, thought processes involving surroundings, threats, and safety. A couple of examples of safety will be: who do you trust? Who do you connect with? And where do you find your acceptance? So this emotion, when you become emotionally stuck, I believe that there was a psyche break in the character development. And the psyche break is when one shuts down a part of themselves emotionally due to a life event that has formed a false belief, which has altered their perception of people, places, and things. And I have a video here. This video will be linked in the description as well, where how this all evolves. I'm going to play you a short clip of it.
This becomes, so these 5 years of events now fertilize the unfamiliar emotions, fertilize the events. Then you tell yourself a false narrative, you get a bunch of self-limiting beliefs, and then this is reinforced over 5 years, and then now you want to feel better. Where do you start, right? Let me show you.
It's funny. Okay. How we end up fooling ourselves at some point, and we get self-limiting beliefs, and we have coping mechanisms which form other beliefs that shift our perception of reality and lines us into not wanting to look into ourselves because it seems like a lot. Because it is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of is. So, I mean, the one thing that never seems to evolve is war. Wars still go on today. Could you imagine having the same iPhone or the first phone that was ever created and still doing that? And I know some of you are going to say, well, war is evolving. I mean, we got drones now. Do we not? So I put a couple memes on here. Like, no, 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 no. Let me fly the drone. Look, if you wanted to play with real lives as a video game, there's virtual reality for that. Go play it on your PlayStation. Go play on your Xbox. Stop playing with real lives and having war in real life. Like, communication has never been easier in the year of 2024, and we're still having wars. Okay, so take a look at this.
Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year. We're super proud of it. It allows you to separate the bad guys from the good. It's a big deal. But we have something much bigger. Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days,
It has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that?
People are literally cheering for this. Like, yeah, that's amazing. Woohoo!
That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. They used to say guns don't kill people. People do. Well, people don't. They get emotional, disobey orders, aim high.
Oh, wait. You mean have morals, have values, and have self-respect of what is morally all right?
Let's watch the weapons make the decisions. Now, trust me, these were all bad guys.
So I guess it really comes down to what they define bad guys as. If we disobey, or does that make us a bad guy? Just curious. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit.
Oliver, can you hear me? Listen to me.
Authorities are still struggling to make sense of an attack on university campuses worldwide.
And yes, this is a little bit exaggerated. This will be in the link in the description as well if you want to watch the whole video. Humans are emotional, they disobey. No, we have morals, we have values of what is ethically okay and not okay. Well, some of us do. But let's play video games and argue over who can fly the drone, right? I mean, give it a good old slap, why don't you? That a boy. And I made this video because I feel it's about time that someone says it. As we evolve as a human race, and our past is our past, okay? We can't change the past. We can't, if we keep focusing on those experiences, things are never going to change. But if we focus on behaviors can change. Behaviors give someone a chance to right their wrongs. And no amount of money is going to make you feel better. I promise you that. So, how is it that the only thing that doesn't get old is war? War is old news. I think it's time we stand for something else and solve problems a different way. Never make the mistake of assuming a person of peace is unskilled at war. I never asked to be micromanaged. I'm responsible for what I allow physically today and energetically for the next once I pass away.